change that. I'll change that name. The other thing, I demoed this last week, but it was very rough, very raw. Got some new functionality. So this is the AI learn from conversation feature. So again, just doing this kind of silly query. I've asked it to show total awesomeness in CA. Awesomeness is this new field. So it runs this query for me, but right, it's 0. CA wasn't the right thing. So I say that. And then hit learn from conversation. Right to the demo gods. And so you'll notice that it went under the hood. So it's all a lot more cleaned up than it looked last week. It went under the hood. It fetched out those sample values like this. It didn't make these up, right? It basically said, I want to have sample values for this field. And it went and fetched those from the database and waited and returned those. We've got this. Uh-oh, that's not good. Well, that's why you demo. Wonder if that just says, oh, that's some really aggressive zoom that I've got for the demo. Zoom out a little bit. It's got these two buttons too. So like, let's say right before I promote this to my workbook, I can go look and get this little model and say like, edit it, go back, just sanity check that did come in, and then go. And I see I've got this awesomeness score, got state. If I look at state, it's got my values. So that's in the workbook model. If I wanted to promote it to shared, obviously then I would just do the normal flow, promote it to shared. So that feature is now, it's not shipped yet, but it's much more real. Yeah.
Stephen, if you said in the chat that field stinks, will we also interpret that as like, don't make the field?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, we could. I don't actually know what it'll do here because there's not like.
The reason I ask, I was doing some pipeline analysis yesterday, and it was making some very aggressive assumptions. It was just like,
Uh-huh.
or like Johnny had an example that was like, how many queries does a customer issue? And it was like, we took the number of connections and multiplied by 1,000.
Uh-huh.
And I'm wondering how it sort of interprets, like, I guess, bad fields.
Yeah, well, let's see. I mean, the problem is now it's in my workbook.
Yeah.
But let's just delete it.
You could just have it make like estimate something random.
Well, let's just see let's see if now that it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it basically said, this is correct here. Basically, it didn't.
Yep. Like it didn't suggest any fields.
Yeah,
that's
it didn't
great.
suggest any fields. There's nothing to learn. So.
Will it do things like pick up synonyms too, or like sort of, or sort of conversely, like not synonym context? So like if it generalizes from revenue to total sales price and you say, oh no, by revenue, I mean something different.
I think so. I told it about synonyms. I haven't figured out that I haven't done a prompt that will, but it has the ability to put those in. So.
That's super cool. I love it. I think the next step we'll want to go to too is like, how do we enable the business users to effectively do this or suggest metadata pieces? So like, it's not an IDE, kind of, query model to workbook model workflow. It's instead like press a button to make a synonym or press a button to add a field sort of thing, like sort of like more UX and workflow.
Jamie, I was thinking a similar thing. Like some business users aren't even going to be in the workbook necessarily. So like, does the scope of this that it would cover outside Stephen to just kind of the chat interface?
No, and then not right now. Okay. And there's an explicit call out. Actually, this button will not even show up for restricted queries, even though technically they could do this. We're just not even going to show them this button. The idea is this is kind of more for like, I'm Colin
Right.
trying to.
I mean, I could,
develop
anyways, was
AI.
just thinking like that would be maybe the layer they think about it into to some degree, where they're accessing it there and then they promote to quote unquote a workbook, right? Which is an analyst owned
Yeah.
operation. Very cool. Thank you.
Okay.